Dragon Ball The Breakers is a game about rolling into cactuses, but eventually you gotta grow up and get responsibilities. You can't just roll into cactuses, you have a responsibility. You gotta pick up the thing, get the item, help the guy. Responsibility. Out of anything ever made in Japan, nearly everyone, nearly everywhere knows about Dragon Ball. If you would attribute that accolade to anime as a whole, you're surely mistaken. I'm pretty sure that Dragon Ball has full-on absorbed Mexico at this point. Dragon Ball The Breakers is an isometric action game that exists in the same video gaming category as Dead by Daylight or that Friday the 13th game. I went into this completely blind to this genre of video game, based apparently on 1 vs 3 mini-games from Mario Party. Luckily, I enjoy a little RNG in my game. Meanwhile, Dragon Ball Fusions was like an oasis of originality for the series, much like GT was, so I hope that Breakers can be the same way. From the first couple of trailers, I got a little apprehensive on this cynical take on the Dragon Ball IP. I mean, rarely in the series are characters this powerless ever made to contend with these crazy superpowered monsters, much less do the characters involved live through the experience. I had a decent amount of fun, playing as the Raider at least. Frieza, Cell, and Majin Buu appear to all function similarly to their roles in the series, with limitations to ensure fair play. All Raiders start out in their weakest first form, usually devoid of meaningful abilities, and needing power via absorbing or killing NPCs to reach their next form. At this point, the Raider has the option of blowing up a portion of the map once per evolution, and will require absorption of players to continue growing stronger. If you're playing as the Raider, you simply have to find the survivors and kill them, as well as thwarting their attempts at escape. Your role as a survivor is more complicated. At first, it can be to find the power keys, with one being hidden in a chest in every area of the map. Once all of the power keys have been obtained in areas not destroyed by the Raider, the Super Time Machine is activated. As far as I know, this is the best method of winning the game as a survivor. The ensuing cutscene shows all the Raiders' damage being reversed. Well, unless you're actively bleeding to death on the ground at the time. None of you are heroes. But if this plan falls through, you can collect cubes of change power throughout the map, able to go through 3 different levels of power depending on the specific Transpheres that you equip outside of matchmaking. These allow your character to gain the powers of various Dragon Ball characters. If enough of the 7 survivors are levels 2 or 3, then it's guaranteed that the Raider will get kicked to death unless they've reached their final form. At this point, the Raider will be level 4 and you won't be able to do anything to them unless you've collected the Dragon Balls and wished for the ultimate dragon change, instantly being put on par with the Raider in terms of power. Maybe because of terrible luck, I never managed to collect all 7 Dragon Balls during the open beta test. And why the hell is it suddenly taking so long to matchmake? Well, a common gripe of Breakers is that there's no crossplay between this game's 4 different ports. Good luck ever matchmaking with someone outside of your country. When I invited an Australian friend into my party and attempted to matchmake, the game just absolutely refused to find other players. With a perpetually online game like this, beyond anything, Bandai Namco is going to need good netcode. Hell, maybe even their best for this game. It's actually more important than the gameplay itself, because there's a good chance that if this game doesn't utterly blow up in popularity, its ports are going to begin to die in terms of activity in no time. Hopefully by the time this game is out of beta, they'll iron this out. Plus, some of these assets look a little familiar, don't they? Like they're mostly touched up existing models, textures, and animations from Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. This definitely can be considered lazy, but as you can imagine, I don't think these assets were going to their best use in that game anyway. And I welcome more of that game's content being adapted into Breakers eventually. On the topic of appreciation, I really like this game's expansive customization features. Outside of creating your survivor character initially, the shop also has an amazing supply of completely aesthetic flex purchases to save up over 10 games for. And then there's the Spirit Siphon, the shop for earning Transpheres for your character. Here you seem to be able to use both the regular and more premium shop currencies that you earn after every game, as well as tickets to pull for Transpheres. The beta only supplied Transpheres of the 6 characters Goku, Vegeta, Tien, Krillin, Yamcha, and Piccolo. The main reason you want to continue earning Transpheres, despite possibly already having your favorite characters or abilities, is that these spheres come with passive and active abilities that benefit your survivor while transformed. And if you level up these abilities to 10, you earn the skill to equip regardless of having the Transphere of that specific character. The Spirit Siphon seems like it's going to revolve around rewards from the game's blatantly planned Battle Pass system. Normally I wouldn't complain, but Dragon Ball The Breakers is only $20 and can be only played online, which seems like the only circumstance where a business model like that seems to make complete sense. Hopefully they don't pull up Bethesda and make me regret this. In the end, with all that I have said, I'm going to preemptively, pre-release, prenatally rate Dragon Ball The Breakers as swanky. I had an incredible time with this title already, as you can see by how much time I spent on the beta test. Sure, the internet problems were slightly annoying, and the game gets a lot harder when you're not living the power fantasy of being the raider, like the length on reviving allies being outrageous. But this title is fun, even more so with friends, and a breath of fresh air from Dragon Ball's history of repetitive action fighters, despite how much I still love Budokai Tenkaichi 3. All I can hope from this moment forwards is that they aren't too aggressive with their monetization of this title post-purchase, and that maybe, one day, we'll get Dragon Ball Fusions 2. Hope you all stay tuned for the next video. Have a nice day.